Soo Chung Kim is just starting the ride of her life.
I've never been on a stretcher.
You've never been on a stretcher
before.
Oh, okay.
This fourth-year medical student is spending the next week and a half living among 514 residents at a nursing home in Upper Manhattan. Not as a doctor, but as a patient.
Today, just being even in this bed, I'm not even comfortable, although I'm just laying down.
Comfort isn't the goal of this program, called Learning by Living. Med students considering a specialty in geriatrics live life at the other end of the stethoscope. Marilyn Gallucci started the program 5 years ago.
It's about being in the shoes, in the wheelchair, living the life over an extended period of time. That's the key.
The students are assigned a diagnosis. Soo Chung is supposed to be a recent stroke victim.
It seems to have affected your right side primarily, is that right?
It's taking a lot of adjusting to not walking around.
Yeah. Everything's different.
Everything's different.
Throughout the 10 days and nights, she was poked and prodded, fed pureed food, and retaught the basics, like how to dress.
You have to make sure that the gown clears the elbow.
She even learned to knit, one-handed. Each night, she recorded her impressions, in writing for school, and on video for us.
Traveling where I used to normally walk around became 10 times more difficult. It could be a very lonely place for the elderly here.
That is exactly the kind of empathy this exercise can foster, says geriatrician Veronica LaFasa.
Without connection, you're not a good doctor.
Geriatrics is a field that could use a few good doctors. 5 years ago, there was one geriatrician per 5,000 people 65 or over in this country. 20 years from now, that ratio is expected to be 1 in 8,000. That's in part because geriatrics is among the lowest paid specialties.
You can start out as an orthopedist making $250,000. Why would you want to cut that significantly to go into geriatrics? A lot of people find that just undoable.
It's nice meeting everybody.
On the day of her departure, it was clear this critical part of Soo Chung's medical training had given her much more to think about than making money.
I never realized how vulnerable being on the other side was. I hope when I go back as a medical student, and hopefully a doctor soon, that I remember how it feels to be the patient.
I'll come back to visit, okay?
A lesson she could have only learned in a one-of-a-kind classroom.
I love you.
Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York.